Hi, and welcome to From Play to Z. My name is William,
I'm Matt.
and that's Brady. We're actually here just to kind of talk to you about who we are. Um, Matt is actually visiting from out of town, and he doesn't typically land on this podcast, we did want to introduce him because he's a vital part of who we are and what we've done. In fact, I'll have Matt tell you a little bit about our story together and his story, and just kind of, you've heard about me, so it's time to learn about the other part of this company, Kinesius, and From Play to Z.
Yeah. So Will and I were working at Orange County Public Schools long time
A
ago.
long time ago.
Yeah. In Orange County, Florida, not Orange County, California.
Yeah.
And he had a project where he needed to make an ERP basically for the school system so that he could keep track.
Explain what an ERP is.
Yeah, an electronic records. What is it? What's the P? Electronic records processing, right?
Yeah, and they call it EMR now.
Okay.
They call it electronic medical records.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Will was director of occupational therapy for Orange
Yes.
County Public Schools, and needed an EMR, electronic medical records processing system. And the school board, of course, didn't want to pay for any big ones, and there weren't that many. It wasn't like a known thing. This was actually the beginning of the internet in the 90s.
Yeah, the legitimate story was I didn't have money to give my staff computers, and then the schools didn't want to give them computers either, and we were all trying to find a place to put the information, and nobody wanted to help except for Matt.
Yeah.
So
So I helped Will build a system.
yeah, an
Using
EMR in probably 2002 it was, and
Yeah.
it was preceding all other EMRs. So we learned that
Yeah.
we became actually close friends at that time. So.
Yeah. So then some time went by after that. I left Orange County Public Schools to go to Disney and became a web developer. And then from there, I got into the implementation of tracking software like Adobe Analytics and Adobe Target for Disney. Mainly Disney Parks and Resorts online. So I was working on Disney Cruise Line and Disneyland.com and all that kind of stuff. Then I went from there to be an
So
Adobe
chances are, if you booked a Disney cruise
Yeah.
or went to Disney, you had to access it through some of his work. So that's
Yeah.
legit.
in the early 2000s. That's true.
Yeah.
And then I went from there to be an Adobe consultant, and then left there to start my own consulting company, which got acquired by a bigger company. And then I had some money and some experience after consulting to a lot of different companies over the years. I was traveling every other week to different companies and seeing how companies work from the inside, and took that experience and the funding and started a company with Will. And we got back together, started chatting about things. He's like, I have some really good business ideas and some products. Mainly this one product that we'll get to in the future that maybe we shouldn't spill the eggs
Yeah,
on
I
right
think
now.
it's a secret. It's going to help a lot of people, and that's
Yeah.
really, and talk about that is that what we kind of really have been honing in on what our real motives are in this.
Yeah, well, it's really to help people develop from a young age to be prepared to get into school and develop and have success in life, and then to keep that success going and keep their health and their vitality later into life. So we really want to help preschool kids and elementary school kids generally, and then also elderly people. Those are our two main markets.
Yeah, we feel like there's a lot of services out there for in between there, and there certainly is a lot of services out for younger people. But we feel like we have a special knack in those two realms, and I'll be honest. For me, that's where my most of my experience is in pediatric therapy and working with those who are elderly. So part of that. So some of these products have kind of come from that experience, and so yeah, we kind of, when I had a transition in life, I said, Matt, what do you think?
Yeah. And so Will is basically an occupational therapist with a lot of product ideas within occupational therapy, having treated a lot of kids and a lot of elderly people. And I'm more of a business person, and he's kind of an engineer of occupational therapy, and I'm an engineer of business. We're both kind of engineer minds, really focused on our specific things. I didn't know really anything about occupational therapy, and you knew about business to some degree because you had your own nonprofit clinic or therapy center. So you took that experience into this, and I've had so much experience with digital marketing and seeing how business operate, and running my own company and stuff, and managing people was really key to that too. And I felt very confident. And since starting together, I've learned so much more about business and marketing that now I feel like we're a really dynamic duo, ready to go.
Yeah, well, and I think
some
that
fun.
the getting the products that we'll have available to you is been an extensive learning experience, and we've really gone the route of quality. And like, let's speak to that
Okay.
that about what we're trying to produce, not necessarily the specific products, but what they mean to people and what you can expect from us.
Yeah. Well, I think there's two things that come to mind from that, which is we want to pursue excellence. We want to make really excellent products that are better than anything on the market in terms of quality and the service that we're providing. In addition to that, they're also innovative. They're solutions to long-standing problems that people haven't been able to solve really well in the past. That's why there's an opportunity for a product. In addition, we're going to do it really well. So, and I forgot what the other thing was. I had two ideas that came to mind. That was one of them. But yeah, we want to make really excellent products. So that's one thing.
Well, and I think that's it. Is the concept of not just throwing something out there. I don't think you want a product that hasn't been thoroughly thought out of. And it's not just products. I'll be honest with you. It's just resources. It's value, and we're committed to value for the people that will engage with us just engage with us to kind of find out who we are when you come and you want some suggestions for and you've seen, if you've been watching us, you've seen some of the different things we're starting to share with you. But also, I think we're trying to provide you value in even if you spend money with us, if we have a product that you want, that you'll see that it is an effective product and it will meet the needs that that you have. And the other part is what Matt has actually taught me is, and this is true. It's teaching me to reach out, and I can see things. I see solutions, but there's kind of two sides to every solution. There's the need of the person, and we're now creating this platform where you can talk to us, and you can tell us what you need, or if our products are needing some adjustments, we want to listen. So we want to create a community. But what I've found with Matt is that we've been successful personally, and we think that that's what people are looking for in life, and we want to find ways to help people be successful and to remain successful in life. And sometimes for in life, it's just to be as engaged in life as possible, and that's what we're about, right? So
yeah, and that was the other point I was going to make earlier, is that we want to make excellent products, but we're not necessarily trying to make all the profit possible. We want to be able to bring these products to people who need them, so that as many people as need them can get them. As many people in the world that need them can get them. So in other words, we don't want to price people out of getting the product. If people need it, we want to get it to them. So we need to make some profit so that we can actually reinvest that profit into new products, keep the product lines going, bring new solutions to people. But it's a really interesting mix of being a for-profit company that's trying to help as many people as possible. So it's almost like we're a nonprofit.
yeah, it's an interesting, and I did run a charitable agency for many years. It was a school for disabled children. And the answer was, it was hard to run a school for just purely charitable reasons, and it was hard to keep it afloat. And we thought, well, there's kind of a hybrid here. There's something in between those two things, is that maybe we just have a heart to also continue to serve. And we've already started with providing free resources, including downloadables. Right now it's just coloring sheets, but there'll be more, and just education that you don't have to pay for, that you can just watch our channel and learn from. And he brought that concept out in me, is to say, no, you don't actually have to do it in just a one or the other type of setup. We can be that company, because we also feel like we have everything we need in life. We're not looking to, I just watched a movie and the guy wanted to be a billionaire, and that's not really what we're driven for. And we've actually this is an important aspect. Brady's really relaxed over there.
Yeah, I can hear his breathing. He's really
He's
relaxed.
just chilling out. We want to. We really want to get to a place where we're philanthropic, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But we also, again, don't. I got my point. I'm getting older, and I'll be honest, it's hard because you lose your. I'm sure those of you who are a little bit older lose your train of thought. We are actually trying to make some profit to actually get to that device that we were talked about, the first product idea, and we don't want to bring in venture capitalists who will, force us to make decisions that go away from the core of what we want to do. And to explain further to that is we just didn't want someone to come in just to flip us and make a buck, to sell the company because he knows, the value has gone up because we got a great product. We just wanted to kind of feed itself and become something that is so good for people, and of course an effective business. You can't stay in business if you're going into debt, so you have to make money to continue. So it's kind of like a more natural eat enough that you sustain life, but then you don't need more. The surplus can be dedicated to other people, right?
Yeah, there's a weird thing that happens with venture capital.
Yeah.
Once you start getting investors, what happens before you get investors, if you're a private company, is who your market is. It's a bunch of people that have a problem that you can identify that you can solve with your solutions, and whether that's services or products. So it's clear, and you can talk to them and get feedback from them, and you can keep servicing them. And if you take investment, you now have this other group you have to satisfy, which are the shareholders, who are not the people with the problem. And so you have this weird thing where they just want money. Right. The first group has a problem they get to solve. The second group only wants money. So taking any kind of venture capital distracts a company from its actual purpose.
And many times they're asking for control so that they have authority to maybe make a sacrifice in the product. Mm-hmm. And we don't want that type of control within the company. So we've made a sincere, discernible effort to start making products that we can afford to finance ourselves, and then move forward and hopefully be successful enough to go into the next phases. And we have some really grand plans that will help, not even, we were just talking about this weekend, maybe some way that we can participate in helping homeless. We have some great ideas, and if we feel like if we are a reputable company and we are a company that's providing these types of solutions to you, your part in it is supporting us and understanding that you're getting something good. And then by doing that, we're able to then become even more, have a greater effect. So it's like this great relationship between us and the people consuming whatever we're providing. And when I say that, yes, we do want people to buy our products, but I love the videos we already started, and they're just at the beginning. I have so many ideas of doing therapy for so long, and I get excited about the ideas of sharing with parents and teachers and uncles and grandparents and therapists, ideas of the way that I was able to help children and other adults as well in the past. So
yeah,
and I think it's funny because there's so much wouldn't you say that if we just recorded our meetings that we've had over the last few years, that we probably could have already had a podcast going, because all of this stuff I've shared, most of the ideas already with you guys, in our meetings. So
yeah, we're both really helpful people naturally. We just want to help people as much as possible. So I'm on kind of a parallel mission where I want to help people understand money better. I want regular folks to start understanding how money works in our society so that they can not be hamstrung by money. It's a weird thing. I know a lot of really smart people, really good people who deserve a lot in life, who end up at the end of their lives with nothing, or that's their trajectory. They're going to work and work and work until the end of their lives and not be able to retire in a comfortable way. I think it's a weird thing, the percentage of people that are in that situation. I feel like almost everybody's in that situation. So that's what I want to do. And that's why I started a holding company, to invest in your company. And even just the structure of what kind of company is the holding company. It's an S Corp. What kind of company is yours? It's a C Corp. And I want to figure out how this all works. How do you bring products to market? How do you advertise them? How do you do all the different things? And I want to process all of that so that we can continue to make subsidiary companies properly, bring products to market properly, efficiently, effectively, so that we can help as many people as possible. And it was great finding you, because you're on such a mission. You have such a purpose of helping people with these specific things that I wasn't passionate about. But you weren't passionate about business the way I am. So putting us together works out really well.
Yeah, it was a good symbiosis in this way. It's like there's certainly deficits in terms of. I'll be honest with you. I had the idea for one of the products called the Handwrite. The pencil's not the problem. You need to get the hand right. Is our slogan. I've had that since 2006. and it's 2026, and there's the first batch of them were developed, and there's like 4 boxes in my garage, in the attic, and they went nowhere because I'm just not necessarily a business person, and I needed the other person to get that accomplished. But it seems like a small thing, but the vision is so amazing. And what Matt had just said is that I'm working for the last 4 or 5 years now. I worked initially with seniors and in rehab and inpatient, outpatient, nursing home, and home health throughout the 30 years plus that I've been doing therapy. And now I'm seeing that in the 2020s and now 2026, there is an epidemic of issues with seniors. And Matt's exactly right. People are in desperate situations at homes, and we want to be part of that solution. And we have a grand plan. If each of these products work, it will feed into even real estate support and commercial developments to help, again, in the same manner, seniors have affordable housing. So we have a really good basis for an idea for that. And so from Play to Z, we have that as our pediatric division of our company called Kinesius. And then there's another one coming that's going to support seniors, and we want that to be something that is really life-changing in that exact way that he just talked about, is that even if they get to the point, if they can't benefit from, in their 40s and 50s, changing the trajectory financially, because there's going to be a lot of people that won't have that benefit, we want to also be able to intervene in a way with those who are already seniors who are in a tough situation, and maybe help achieve something that the government's not been able to do, which is affordable, healthy, safe living arrangements. So we have something, it's in its very infant idea phase, but it seems viable. And I think together with our skills, we can get it there. It won't be just us. And we see, connections with municipalities. We see connections with other companies, construction companies and such, that might make this possible. And there's a long road to get there. But it's starting with this small product. One's called the Handwrite, and the other one's called Cat Don't Do That, and that's also a developmental adventure for children, not necessarily disabled children, because you've heard occupational therapy over and over again here. It's for typically and atypically developing children. In fact, the typically developing children will get it pretty quickly. It will help them become successful. Atypically children will take a little bit longer, but they still will be successful. And it will help not just you as parents or as teachers, but it's going to help therapists. Therapists can use it as their treatment. It's really therapy in a book, but it's developmental therapy. So everyone needs development. So
Yeah.
so that's what we've been working on. And the funny thing was, we thought we could get it on the market in a year. It's a solid 2 years of development that it's taken us to get to where we're at right now, which is almost unveiling everything. So how exciting is that?
Yeah, we're getting really close to launching, which is
Yeah.
really exciting. It's been a long road, longer than we could have possibly expected.
Yeah.
Like, even if you talk to people about how long they thought it would take, it wouldn't have been this long.
No.
So that's been very eye-opening. And it makes you realize, when people copy other people's products, like you have these manufacturers overseas that will just copy products and throw them on Amazon or wherever, it's really disheartening now knowing what it takes to get the first product on the market,
Right.
going through the design, getting feedback, redesigning, getting prototypes. It's a long, difficult, expensive road. And for somebody to copy it is really upsetting.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we've taken measures, of course,
Yeah.
to protect our intellectual property, and we can do the best we can do with that. But that's part of engaging with our community. We're trying to get a base of people who trust us, and we want you to trust us. And we know that everybody can come together and help each other. And I think that's where we're at. Really is becoming a company and a model company of how we can blend being a profitable company with serving. And wow, that seems like it needs to be done more, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really funny. there are a lot of business consultants who would say this company needs to find its purpose. Like these wayward companies need to find their purpose. If you're starting a new company, you need to find your purpose. But you and I are like overflowing with purpose. That's one thing we have in abundance. It's purpose.
Yeah.
And it really is great to have that at the core of the business, so that's clear when we're making decisions what we should do. It's never about can we make more money.
Right.
It's about can we make sure we're covering costs and get to the next product on the roadmap so that we can keep helping people.
And we've said this commonly. We haven't really gotten off the ground that much yet, but we've said that, if the goal is making money, then something is going to be sacrificed. If we give you good products, the money will come.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like if you build it, they will come. Like that movie, what was that? Field of
Field of
Dreams.
Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is kind of our field of dreams. If we make it, it will happen because it does work.
Mm-hmm.
The things I'm giving that are coming from, the experience, they work. And we don't want to ever put out a product that's half-baked. And this is far from half-baked. I can go in that closet over there, the door's behind him, and you will see drawers of iterations of the first products. And so we are making sure that we're putting it together in a high quality way.
Yeah.
And you're right, purposefully made, and I love that. I love this. I mean, I love being able to express this type of thing that I've done in a product. It's really kind of amazing, actually.
Yeah. It's been really neat talking to different contracting companies too, whether it's marketing agencies or companies that produce things, because we bring our ideas to them and are passionate about what we're trying to do. We're saying, like, here's what we're doing. People have said many times, well, I love your passion about this. And it's that we have such a purpose and we know it's going to help so many people. And so many people are going to be smiling after this, after having so much trouble just using the handwrite device or whatever it is. We're going to have such a positive effect that we're really into it. And when people talk to us, they all want to work with us, which is great.
Yeah, it's today was one of the best experiences we've had to date. Is that we took a trip up to Artemis Plastic, and you'll see on the that will be a bit of a blog post, is our first trip with the mold that we had made that was producing the handwrite device. What was amazing, which was unexpected, was it was really cool to see the mold, and you'll see how big the mold is and how it spits out this little thing, but this huge thing has to be made to spit out a little product, and it was an amazing experience to go through that. But we ran into the guy that was initially making, using the mold to make the product, and apparently he's young like me. And his wife has a problem with arthritis, and she can barely hold things. And with the device, she was there for lunch, and he showed her the product, and she put it on her hands, and she started to be able to write. He was telling us, in fact, we were a little surprised when he first said that he loved our product, and then he caught up with us later in the tour of the facility and really shared that his wife had had this experience where she put the device on and she could actually write again. And I'll be honest with you, it's a little emotional, and I do get emotional about it, because that's the complete fruition of what we're trying to accomplish, is that yes, it will help somebody. And she had this, she likes to write letters to people, apparently. Mm-hmm. She said she can write again. And this was we did have the concept of making it for people who have rheumatoid arthritis and some difficulty with motor skills as an adult, but we weren't expecting it today. That we actually got testimonial today from the first person that ever made them. Yeah. And we want more and more, and we want more of that.
It's so funny because we think about this product going from kids first. We're selling it through from Play to Z first. It's advertised to kids first because we know how many kids are going to need help holding pencils correctly.
Correct.
Parents really need help teaching the kids how to hold the pencil. It's really for the parents to develop their kids. And the kids are going to appreciate it eventually, but during the time that they're learning, they're going to be like, I don't want to write right now. I don't want to color. So you have these little challenges with kids sometimes. Sometimes they definitely like it, but when you're saying, put this on, I want you to actually adjust the way you're doing something, that's difficult for kids. Anytime you're changing a habit, it's awkward to get through the changing period.
Absolutely.
A lot of kids are going to just be a little annoyed by that.
Yeah.
They'll eventually appreciate it. So we know that eventually we're going to also advertise this to elderly people, because my mom included has tremors and has a hard time writing and likes to write. So she's going to appreciate it. And I know that the elderly population is going to be there for us when we get to them. And they're going to really have wonderful moments putting this on and not being against it, being really for it. Like, oh, this helps me? Great, fantastic,
Yeah,
we'll put it on.
jumps on it. Actually.
So to hear that so early,
Yeah.
that it helped an elderly person already, not even elderly, just a person that has arthritis early, was like, it was almost emotional for me. So I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is really going to help
This
people.
is a real thing. You know,
Yeah.
it was such a, what's the word?
It was like a catharsis for me.
A
I was like,
catharsis,
wow.
yeah, an
Yeah.
actuation, a catharsis. It was, and it was from the very. I mean, I have to reiterate, it was the first person that ever made this in the United States. That the first manufactured item that we ever made. The first person that touched it to use it for something. It was dramatically helpful, and that's who we are now, and that's who we want to be moving forward. The things that we make, we want to have a profound improvement on people's lives, and so that's kind of where we're at. And so we wanted to sit down today, introduce Matt, because he's not going to be able to be part of this all that much. As much as we can bring Matt in, I will. But you know, this is important to us that everyone understands who we are. I didn't want to be doing a blog, and I didn't want to be doing this stuff. In fact, it took me, I've been dragging my feet for so long. I pulled my daughter in because she really is my security blanket in this.
Yeah.
She's here though. Joy's here. If you missed
Yeah.
Joy, she's better to look at, I'm sure. And she's behind the camera today.
Hi.
She can, yeah, say it louder.
Hi.
There she is.
For sure.
Brady's here sleeping, but we don't want to be there, and we don't need that. We don't, and if we never had to be in front, the reason I do get in front of the camera is because I'm the one that's been doing the therapy with the kids and the adults, and I'm the one that can explain some stuff that can help in terms of some of those free value is what we want to give you, right?
Yeah.
And that's something I learned from you is people, you know, if we're just asking you to give us money all the time, then, you know, we're no better than anyone else. So, you know.
Yeah. Giving away free value is key.
Yeah.
And well, going back to being in front of the camera and being
Yeah.
known, I think that's really important too. Because when people choose to buy a product from one brand or another, or even if it's a different product than another product, they're choosing it partly because they believe that it's going to help because the people making it want to help. And if they don't know who's making it or what their purpose was, it could be that that product is just out there to try and make a buck off of you, kind of to take advantage of you as a customer. So when you realize who we are and what we're trying to do, I think it helps you make a purchase decision because you're like, these people really want to help. I think this product's actually going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well,
it's important.
I think it's essential, and I'm so happy to be part of it. And we have this, you know, we sit down and we really did. We didn't just have AI produce core values.
Right.
We hammered out these things, and they're on our website, and I'd like you to visit that. It's www.kinesius.com, but you also can do www.fromplay2z.com. It's, I believe.
You can say from play to Z actually, because we have a couple of domains registered that'll redirect. So from play to Z.com.
Yeah, I think it's though from dash play.
That also is one of the
to,
networks.
okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you got to look for it,
Yeah.
and you can get it there from Kinesius. You can see those vision and values and those things, but they weren't just. We hashed them out. We spent a couple of days in a retreat saying, who are we? What do we want to accomplish? Because if we don't agree on that, we can't produce something properly. And so and everyone that we bring in, if we even get a hint that they don't think the way we think, we don't want to do business with them. If they think that this is all about money, because in the end, you know, you can't take it with you, they say, right?
Yeah.
so it's not really about the focus. It's about what we do. There's a Batman line that's great. What is it? Joy knows this one. It's not who we are underneath, it's what we do, or something like that. That's a Batman line.
I should know that. I love that.
Yeah. It's not who we are underneath, it's what we do.
So I was going to say, you mentioned you're excited to be a part of this, but really I feel like I'm the one that's a part of something here. I think I'm a part of your story. I'm just helping your story happen.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's our story. I don't think we can separate it out like that.
It's your occupational therapy experience and you helping people directly hands-on and going, man, these solutions that are on the market aren't working. I think this would work better. You've had all these great things where you've been right in front of people saying, I can help these people better. And I'm just helping you help those people better.
Well, interestingly enough, okay, I love little stories. You know that. You already know that about me. So Yes. Yes, that was, I had this school and everybody wanted to say, oh, how great you are. And, I helped children who were physically impaired and whatever. I mean, it was not me all the time. I had a bunch of great staff members they loved those kids. And so it wasn't just me. Yes, I have a vision and I did work hard to make that vision happen. I did, but there's so many other people that are necessary for these things to happen, and that's something you need to hear. And the story, the best story of this was, I had a woman that came in and I needed a special type of commercial insurance, and I couldn't find it. Nobody wanted to insure a school for disabled kids that was doing transportation, and I had to pay through the nose just for a commercial policy. And the woman that helped me get the policy, she literally came in and she's like, okay, we can do this and we can get it. I'll get it set up. We'll find the underwriting, whatever. And she got it set up. And then she sat in my office and she just started crying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she started crying. And she goes, I see what you're doing, and what I do is just silly to me. What I'm doing is not important. And I said, what are you talking about? I said, I need what you're doing to do this. Is what I said. I said, if I can't get this insurance, I can't run this school, and I need you to do what you're doing. And that's you. I need to do this to be able to get the handwrite, to make this into a product. I can't do it without you. So no, it's not, you're not participating in the story. You are the story. There's an expression, a faith expression. It's like, I'm willing to go in the hole, and I'll descend into that hole, but I need someone holding the line. And everybody's important. Like I said, that school, do not make no mistake about that school. That wasn't me. That was a lot of people, a lot of wonderful professionals who loved on people, and that's what we're trying to do here. And so, this is not, I think if you know me, I just don't care about who takes the credit for what. I just want to, it's so cool to make this stuff.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see it happen. It just gets me so excited. It's emotional, and it's really about what that person is feeling. I mean, I hope everybody in their life has the chance to help and make a difference, because there is nothing that will fill your soul and reward you more than when you do something like that. I guarantee you that nothing is better than that. When you really have helped someone. I mean, I still get emotional about, some of the things that happened at that school that the kids had never done it. Here's another story from the school. One of the boys, when we started the school, he had literally never went to the bathroom on the toilet. Everybody just had him in a diaper. And we were like, well, tell us when you got to go and we'll put you on the toilet. The happiness of that child, and that child wasn't a child, he was like 20 years old.
Oh, wow.
He says, he comes out and he goes, I went to the bathroom on the toilet. And seems crazy, right? Taken for granted. He just wanted to do it like everyone else did it.
Yeah, you've told me stories like that before.
Yeah.
That the feeling of being like
Yeah.
a normal person and feeling the respect of others and stuff the way normal people do is
Yeah.
really important. You talked about people in wheelchairs who have been in
Yeah.
wheelchairs their whole lives. Being able to be elevated to the point where they're eye level with other people is really important.
Yeah, we had a student, and I can't mention names, but we had a student that on his, our students were able to go from 0 to 21, and then they aged out of the program. And he turned 21, and he just wanted to go to Starbucks. So I facilitated him walking into Starbucks from the car, ordering, standing, and then we sat down in a regular chair, and then we walked back, and I facilitated it. It's a physical engagement from behind. I helped support him, and then halfway back, he basically collapses, and I catch him, and he starts crying, and I thought he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of had to pick him up in my arms, and I said, what's the matter? What's the matter? And he just said, Ed.
Yeah.
he said, "I've never felt so normal in my life," and he was happy. And I said, "There's nothing to replace that."
Yeah.
And it's we don't get it that we're so blessed.
Yeah.
You know, we don't get it that we're so blessed. We're all blessed. We can get out of bed every day. We can brush our teeth, comb our hair. These kids that I used to work with can't. You know, and I do miss that. We had to close the school. Miss that. But I want to give it in a bigger way. I still want to do that. You know,
Yeah.
it's the thing that struck me and changed me. It has changed me my entire life. Is I saw kids who had no reason to be happy, that were happier than anybody I knew.
Yeah.
And I saw kids who had every reason to be happy that weren't happy at all. They had all the physical skills, but they weren't happy. And I realized that happiness doesn't come from, it comes from an appreciation of simple things. And like that is like he was just happy that he could walk in and do something the way that everyone else does it. And yeah, so we're about having to cut out here, and I'm sorry I get emotional.
But yeah, that's one of the greatest things about this company.
Yeah.
We have so much purpose. But
Yeah.
what we're looking for is not money in exchange for what we're doing. We're looking for a bunch of people posting on our website their testimonials about how
Yeah.
much we've helped them,
Yeah.
what an impact we've had. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, and I pray that you do that. Please do that. And so we're gonna have to cut out because we're running out of juice. We could talk for more, and we'll do this again because there's
Maybe we
more.
can swap the battery.
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah. Okay, even so. All right, thank you. We're gonna cut for a second.